So I'm standing here with our keynote speaker this evening, none other than Ilyasah Shabazz, author of Growing Up X, and she is going to give us a dynamic speech. She has been on the forefront motivating young leaders in the revolution, because the revolution is here and nothing has gone away as far as civil rights are concerned. It is indeed my honor and distinct pleasure to turn it over to our keynote speaker this evening, Ms. Ilyasah Shabazz.
Okay.
And welcome to New Jersey State Conference.
I'm happy to be here, especially NAACP.
When young people were protesting, marching and demonstrating for integration, quality education, housing and health care for themselves and their families, Malcolm came along and said, "We demand our human rights as your brother. We demand our human rights ordained by God." So it wasn't asking people to let you be free or asking people, can we have a quality education? If you want these things, you just do it. We can continue to pretend that everything is okay. But what does that say about us? What does it say about you? What does it say about your values if we just step over injustice? If we see that there's injustice, that people are dying, that people are mass incarceration, if we see all of these things and we turn our back and do nothing, what does that say about us? Each one of us is going to be accountable when it's over, because it's inevitable that we will perish.
Yes.
So once we forward-thinking adults understand the necessity of our roles in the village of raising and protecting healthy, functional children, they too will understand it is up to every individual to right the wrongs in our society. Congresswoman Bella Abzug, she was an activist, she and her husband, attorneys in the South, but they had this home in Mount Vernon. And they were concerned when my father was killed, when he was gunned down. And so they reached out to the Arts Committee. That was women, Poitier's wife, Belafonte's wife, Ozzie Davis' wife, it was a bunch of them. And she wanted to know, where is Betty going to live? Where is she going to raise her children? She's pregnant with twins, how is she going to survive? And so she sold her house to someone, but really for my mother. And then that person sold it to my mother, because she was concerned. And that was Congresswoman Bella Abzug and Gloria Steinem. And a lot of people don't know that. Because when you're concerned about injustice, you're concerned about not black and white, but it's an issue of right and wrong. So my mother made sure that we were very clear on our identities and that we loved ourselves so much. We're living in interesting times. For so long, we denied the institution that governed slavery, the systemic laws that protected it. We denied its ugly truths, its pains, its inequities, its historical and generational traumas and disparities. My father said, you don't stick a knife in a man's back 9 inches and then pull it out 6 inches and say you're making progress. And that just as Malcolm X, young people can find their individual power and recognize the oneness of our humanity, the oneness of our nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Time of turmoil in this country. What do you want to leave with our constituents that can give them that motivation for when they have work, they have kids, they're tired? What can you give them to make them want to keep pushing even when they're tired?
Well, what I do personally when I come across any challenges, I always think of my ancestors and I look at all that they created. We wouldn't go to pyramids, but all that they endured and still created. Had it not been for them, we would not have the opportunity to call this great country the land of milk and honey, the leader of the free world. our home. So I'm always honoring and thinking of my ancestors and all that they sacrificed and all that they did. And when I think of the challenges they endured, I know whatever challenge I have is minuscule. And when I want to make sure that our children understand their purpose, that they recognize their identity, their leadership, and all of those things, I'm even more committed.
www.njscnaacp.org is the website, and this is the New Jersey State Conference of the NAACP. Thank you.